September fell in terms of heat and how it's now one of the hottest months on record.
And what a new study says about cities at risk for flooding.
Plus, as we continue to track the tropics, we talk about the potential impacts Tropical Storm Philippe has on the Northeast.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And welcome into Weather Extra, Wes Wyatt.
And I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan.
And meteorologist Tania Michelle.
Hey, Tania, great to see you on here today. And I saw today, you were tracking at noon some of these clouds moving in and still kind of hazy out there. You notice that?
Oh, yeah. Once again, we have to blame Canada for that one.
Oh, I know.
The Canadian we don't have to blame Canada for much. They're so friendly. They're such great neighbors. But yeah, those Canadian wildfires have been creating that haze outside, and we're going to have clouds around even without that haze tomorrow.
I can really tell today I was driving. I went to Sylacauga, had a great weather visit. I'll share a photo from earlier, but you could just tell, in the distance, you could tell it was real hazy out there today. But it happens a lot this time of the year. You remember the time we had the big fires in Gatlinburg? It was like around this time of the year. It was so dry, it was so crisp, but we finally saw that drought break.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to have necessarily any drought-busting rain in the forecast, but we'll get a little something, right, Wes? We've been looking at some new data.
A little something, and the models, they're still hanging on to this possibility of some showers. I think we're going to see some showers tomorrow night. I really do. Let's go over to our graphics here. We'll show you what the next big thing on the map, and here it comes. We got a cold front, and look at all the rain to the west. And actually, when you look at the drought monitor for us, we're not technically in a severe drought. We just have abnormally dry conditions, but back to the west, they're actually dealing with extreme severe drought conditions. I mean, the drought is starting to develop across Alabama. Certainly we have a lack of rainfall, but it's even drier for areas back to the west, and this wet weather, I know it is certainly welcome. So how much of this holds on and reaches us across Alabama? Well, the atmosphere is going to try to moisten up here over the next 24 hours, and we'll see already we've got clouds moving in, and again, the hazy conditions on top of that, but we'll also see the chance for showers coming back tomorrow night. So even though right now it looks like clouds are rolling in, like it may be about to try to rain, it's not going to happen just yet. It's going to be tomorrow night when we'll start to see that next best chance for showers. So if you have plans for later on this evening, plans for tomorrow morning during the day, we should stay dry. As you can see, the next 24 hours, this is the latest high resolution data, and it keeps us dry through most of the afternoon tomorrow until right around sunset time. Here it comes. Look at this. Showers possible Thursday night, and it's still kind of scattered. I can't promise a lot of rain, but hopefully enough that will settle the dust across the area, and that's going to continue into Friday morning. After that, the other big story, it is the cold weather on the way, and I know we've been kind of flirting with fall-like conditions, these cool, crisp mornings, but it's going to be cold mornings on the way as we get into early Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk more specifics on the temperatures and what you can expect coming up later here on Weather Extra.
And tracking the tropics tonight, Tropical Storm Philippe could bring severe weather to the Northeast this weekend. Even though the storm is still far away from the U.S. mainland, Philippe will potentially interact with a cold front and bring tropical moisture to New England. This will cause the risk for rain and flooding in an already waterlogged area that has been repeatedly hit with heavy rainfall in recent weeks. It's expected to reach New England Sunday as a weakening tropical storm. And this leads us into growing concerns that more cities are being built in areas at high risk for flooding. A new report states that over 3 decades, cities in flood-prone areas have increased by, get this, 122%. Researchers also say that exposure to any type of flooding is increasing as well, noting that coastal flooding is increasing the fastest. East Asia and the Pacific region are the places with the highest flood exposure.
And as the Canadian wildfire smoke continues to produce a hazy sky here across central Alabama, it's also affecting communities all the way down in Florida. Kate Hussey has more.
On the sands of Vero Beach,
kind of a slow day today.
fisherman Robert Dockendorf.
And right now, I'm just going fishing, seeing if we can get a bite.
Casts his line, just thankful he can see it.
Visibility is usually a lot clearer, man. A lot clearer.
He's not the only one whose oceanfront view is clouded. Just up the beach, Kevin and Kathy Reed,
enjoying this breeze.
came to see the high tide,
We thought there'd be some erosion, but yeah, look at that.
but are in awe of a different weather phenomenon.
The haze probably. Distinctively off in the distance, you can tell something's up.
The smoke from 300 Canadian wildfires now attracting the attention of beachgoers up and down Vero's coast.
It was so glowy and bright.
All the way from Canada? Wow.
It's like a ghost ship would almost be on the horizon somewhere.
And it may be cool to look at, but pulmonologist Stephen Milan says with an air quality index of over 150, it's not a good idea to stay out in it for long.
The average person, we always tell, without any respiratory disease, without any cardiovascular disease, we say, hey, maybe spend a little bit more time indoors.
And like an idiot, I went for a run this morning.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Milan says not to do. If you have to be outdoors, limit yourself to non-strenuous activity, like sunbathing or fishing. And if you have any kind of lung or heart disease, it's especially important for you to stay inside as much as possible.
We also strongly recommend that, hey, pay attention to your symptoms. If you're coughing more, these are triggers, these are red flags.
Bottom line, while it may look eerie,
It's Halloween season, it's October.
I'm like, are there zombies all over the place today? I'm like,
thankfully, it's not zombie serious. But it is a good idea to take your activities inside or at the very least, monitor the weather.
So I check my line about every 5 minutes and I'll check the weather.
And if we ever see poor air quality in our area, just know we will always give you that first alert on our WBRC First Alert Weather app. And we'll be right back for Weather Extra in 30 seconds. Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Tania Michelle, and we're taking you around the world to Taiwan, where Typhoon Coinu has made landfall. This system has been bringing heavy rainfall and winds up to about 114 miles per hour. This makes it equivalent to a Category 3 hurricane in the Atlantic. For areas around Taiwan, rainfall totals of up to 11 inches are possible, and coastal waters could rise as high as 9 feet. The storm is expected to weaken significantly before it reaches China. Lauren.
Thanks, Tania. Well, elsewhere in Asia, Indonesia continues to fight forest and peatland fires. According to Reuters, fires in Sumatra and Borneo have left cities and areas blanketed in smoke and haze. This caused unhealthy air conditions for over 1 million people. Many schools and jobs have actually asked people to work from home as the air quality worsens. The fires burned in 316 places across the southern region.
And the trend continues. September joins June through August as one of the hottest months recorded in history. Last month was 1.6 degrees above the 2020 average, beating the previous warmest September by almost 1 degree. As the planet continues to shatter heat records, it ensures that 2023 will be the warmest year on record. July still holds the record for being the globe's hottest month ever. And a stretch of warm weather is turning out to be a good thing for grape growers in California. Marcelia, I don't want to say her name incorrectly, she went to the harvest recently and tells us more about it.
A late season in wine country.
The longer that's on there, and you are risking other stuff happening like fires or frost, but we've been very lucky so far.
Had a few winemakers on edge this year.
Cross my fingers because we're not done with harvest. Has been the perfect harvest so far, I would say. We haven't, knock on wood, dealt with any fires in this area where the smoke has affected us.
As a wet winter and relatively cool summer delayed the ripening process.
It's been a really good harvest so far, and we're excited to see how these wines turn out. I think we're going to have some really good ones this year.
Leading to a steady and careful process this year.
This harvest has been really great because we'll get the right amount of tonnage each day. So we're working a great pace each day instead of just a ton all coming in at the same time.
And one that's promising a good batch of wine.
But right now, it's actually been kind of nice that it's coming in a little bit later. It gives us time here at this side of the house, you know, to fully go through primary fermentation, and then we're not rushing stuff, pressing things a little earlier to make tank space.
Well, still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, the rare jellyfish sighting that has wildfire experts on alert.
All right, we've got a lot happening this week. Of course, with the weather, we got a chance of showers coming back, some cooler temperatures, and a lot of events happening. So how will all these weather changes impact some of the events that are happening around our area? Here's Matt and Mickey with an update.
Hey, Matt, we're getting into the weekend. We got all kind of fall festivals, and among them, we're starting out with the Birmingham Greek Food Festival. Something about those grape leaves and whatever they stuff inside of those. I really like that stuff.
It's some good stuff. Some pasta. Just tried that today.
Yeah, Greek pasta,
really good.
like Greek lasagna.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Now, we could see a few showers toward tomorrow evening. So you might want to take your umbrella, but they've got great drive-through service too, so you can pull up and then get your order and send you on your way.
Sounds like a good deal, and of course this will continue going into Friday and Saturday, and of course tomorrow evening there's this band. Have you heard of them?
The Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I saw them in concert years ago. It was like some kind of festival in Gadsden. Just an awesome concert. They have so many hits. This is inside the Alabama Theater, but going in and to and fro, you might run into a few showers. Take your umbrella to there as well.
That's right. And then, of course, we're going into Friday. And by the way, we're just showing you some events. There's probably even more than this. So I just want to give you those forecasts. Friday, we got the Alabama Butterbean Festival.
Yeah. Do you put ketchup on your butterbean?
I sure don't.
Oh, that's good.
Because if you've had a real butterbean, you don't need anything on it.
I just like some ketchup on them.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, put strange things on.
I'll have to try it, though.
Okay. And next in line, we have the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater concert of Maxwell.
Yeah, Friday evening, looking pretty good. You might want to grab a jacket for that. I know it's showing low 70s, but we got a cold front moving through. Could be a little breezy with winds coming in from the north. So just want to give you that first alert.
It's a little chilly. And then on Saturday, the Moundville Native American Festival in Moundville, Alabama, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. there in Moundville. And look at these temperatures, Matt. This is that cold front that we've been talking about. A lot of sunshine, but cool sunshine.
That's going to be a shock to the system.
It is, isn't it?
It's going to be nice if you like, or if you've been waiting for the fall temperatures. And it's very appropriate that we finish this off with the Coleman County Fair forecast. Of course, it's starting at the end of this week, but also into this weekend. And it's going to be a little bit cooler in Coleman at the Coleman Fairgrounds. We could just see highs Saturday and Sunday only in the mid to maybe upper 60s.
Yeah, you just have to eat some extra funnel cakes. We have football forecast as well.
Yeah, there's football happening, and then we also have the Piney Woods Festival. There's so many things happening.
Yeah.
But the idea is
we don't even have time for it all.
We don't have time, but maybe we'll do more coming up on Extra going into tomorrow. But looks like great weather going into the weekend.
You really going to try ketchup on your butter beans?
No.
Okay.
All right, checking out the weather situation here across the region as we take a look at a live look from Grandview Medical Center. 82 degrees. A lot of folks trying to make it home here on this dry evening. It's been a little bit hazy out there. We've been talking about some of that wildfire smoke that has impacted the air quality. You can see some wet weather just now starting to move into the screen here, but that's not going to reach us tonight. We're getting some clouds off of that. It's going to stay mostly cloudy, and that will keep us mostly in the 60s for overnight low temperatures tonight and into tomorrow morning. But as we go through the day, mainly dry, still mostly cloudy tomorrow, very similar to today, at least the daytime hours. But tomorrow night at this time, we will be tracking scattered showers making their way into Alabama. It looks like a pretty good chance of rain. You can see around 11 o'clock, went with a 60% chance for scattered showers during the overnight. There's 4 a.m. on Friday, so if you don't see rain during the evening, a chance as we go into early on Friday, we could see some showers. Saturday morning, 49 around Coleman. Nice drop in temperatures. How about Sunday morning? Look at this, lows down into the 40s, so that first real taste of fall air on the way for this weekend as we look ahead. That's the next big thing, and dry into the start of next week. And later next week, some of the long-range data indicating that we could see maybe some more showers later on next week. So that's what we're going to be talking about as we go to meteorologist Lauren Linehan, and we go, Lauren, beyond the 7-day forecast.
Yeah, we love to take it beyond the 7 day.
Yeah, we need an intro there. Beyond the 7 day.
Yeah,
right?
we do. And maybe like a little crystal ball or something.
You know what? Sometimes that's what you need.
You do,
right?
yeah. Sometimes I'm like, let's just let a crystal ball do our job. Be a little bit easier.
Especially, you start getting out there 10 plus days, especially this time of the year. But actually, this time of the year, the weather is a bit more, I guess, it's more pattern-like, and it's more progressive, and you can actually lock in on systems and really kind of get a good idea of what's coming on down the road.
Yeah, that's so true, Wes. So this time of the year, we're definitely looking for those patterns. And of course, we want to look at the potential. We're not completely out of the clear yet. Could we see anything in the way of tropical systems? Well, let's take a peek at beyond the 7 day, that 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You'll notice 6 to 10 days from now, it looks like the western 2/3 of the U.S. could be seen above average temperatures, and that gets just far enough to the east that, hey, that may actually include parts of Alabama. Now, the eastern part of the state will likely be seeing temperatures possibly closer to average, but you do notice the western half of the state may see temperatures just a touch above average. Now, it's not much as we look at those potential high temperatures here 6 to 15 days from now, and this is looking at October 10th through 19th. You'll notice maybe once we get past this little cool down this weekend, going into the middle of next week, we could possibly see low, mid 80s in the forecast, kind of similar to where we are right now, before possibly another system bringing a cool down into the following week of October. So maybe for the latter half of next weekend. So you go from 80s back in the forecast to potentially 70s. But as far as those morning low temperatures, we're definitely going to feel that cool down this weekend. Definitely going to be needing to break out maybe the sweater. That sounds crazy to me. If you're a little bit more hot natured like I am, I know it sounds crazy because you always see me with my blanket in the studio. Maybe a little bit more hot natured. You need to just turn off the AC this weekend and not worry about the heat. But hey, sweater, not going to be a bad idea, especially you want some sleeves the next few mornings once we get to the weekend. But as we look into next week, you'll notice those morning lows begin to go up again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So not quite as cold. But then once we get past next weekend, we begin to see those low temperatures maybe dropping. Oh, well, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that one. You know, this model data, it's raw model data, so it's not guaranteed to happen, but we're just going to pretend we didn't see that number that started with 3. So we're just going to ignore that. Instead, as we look at that 6 to 10 day rainfall outlook, you'll notice across the east coast of the U.S. the potential for above average precipitation. So this is something that we're going to be watching closely in the days ahead, but maybe we could finally get a little bit in the way of rainfall. So we've been talking about the potential for some measly rainfall going into tomorrow. But after an unusual jellyfish sighting in the El Dorado National Forest, yes, the forest in the Sierra Nevada, Hunter Selwards explains why wildlife experts are inevitably on high alert.
Did you find out what they are? At first glance, Casey Neat thought it was pollen floating in the waters near the boat ramp of the Stumpy Meadows Reservoir. But the closer he looked, he realized it was something you usually only see in the ocean. The freshwater creature, commonly known as the peach blossom jellyfish, is sometimes only the size of a penny.
Things are known to be native to the Yangtze River Valley in China.
This video from 2020 was shot by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History in Kansas, where the presence of the jellyfish stumped experts researching their effects on local ecosystems.
Well, an invasive species has a negative impact on the native species, whereas some of the non-native species aren't necessarily invasive because they're not really impacting the natural ecosystem.
And while the jellyfish are harmless to humans, their impacts on other organisms remains unclear. Experts with Nature World News fear peach blossom jellyfish could compete with native species for food resources and disrupt the food web. The U.S. Geological Survey is tracking where they're being spotted across the U.S., trying to determine how they could reshape our freshwater ecosystems in years to come.
As if we didn't have to be worried about gators in freshwater, now we have to be worried about jellyfish too. Well, First Alert Weather Extra will be right back, but first let's take a look at today's Weather Almanac.
All right, looks like I got the band assembled back here, right? Got the guitar, and we had a great time today. I was visiting, I mentioned earlier, I drove down to Sylacauga, and I visited Main Avenue Apartment Center, and every year I try to make it down to speak to the residents there. They have a community center, and they all come out. Of course, they always have some great questions and enjoy, watching WBRC Fox 6. They're big fans, but they left me with a nice big cake, and I posted this on Facebook, and someone said, Wes, don't know how you do it with all those cakes, but let me just say I have to get a walk and a run in every now and then, right?
Yeah, and we help you with them.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do a great job with that, by the way.
Those cakes last probably less than an hour in this newsroom. As soon as Wes walks in with that cake, I'm right behind him like, let me get my slice, because everybody else.
It's like our appetizer before dinner.
There you go.
Exactly it. Yeah.
I tell everybody though that always sends us back with a nice little treat like that. Hey, we all enjoy it here, and we certainly appreciate you from our team here at WBRC Fox 6. But a great group there, of course. Today, you may have gotten the alert earlier today. Our devices all went off. It was a nationwide emergency alert test. Of course, that was happening today while we were there. So if you didn't get an alert today, you better check your mobile device. But we did have that happen earlier. But no watches, no warnings in place for this evening.
Very thankful for this quiet weather, but you can catch us back here tonight on Fox 6 at 9 and here on Weather Extra every weeknight at 6:30. We hope you have a safe and happy Wednesday evening.